So, hi, I'm Tom Evans and welcome to another Zone Show. And I'm doubly thrilled today to be speaking with Githa Ben-David. How are you?
I'm fine.
So, I had the great pleasure of speaking to Lars, your better half, or your other half, just about a month ago. And here you are. And I thought maybe you might be the first husband and wife team I've interviewed. But I remembered I interviewed a lovely couple last year as well on two different occasions. So you're the second husband and wife team on the Zone Show. So welcome.
Thank you.
So you're a very intriguing person. So you're trained as a musician.
Yeah, I was trained in the Royal Academy with classical saxophone, actually.
Classical saxophone. I didn't even know classical saxophone existed.
No, and also it was strange because it was actually not my own choice in a way. I could borrow a saxophone in the high school, and it was very easy coming for me. And then I thought, okay, we try to go for it, and I came in. It was kind of a competition, and I went very well in, and this story is actually showing a little bit how my life has been like this. That then I find, okay, that's very thrilling, and then I go for that, and then something else happening, and I follow that, and I think the saxophone put me on the track I'm on now, because I was very much into the note, like the quality of the note, because if you can make a thrilling, beautiful note, then you touch people's body because they start to resonate. And then you can put all the techniques on top of it. And I was standing for hours making long notes into the wall. And I got that I did it for 2 years in the conservatorium, and also I was having teachers, and they told me to doing, all this. Is it called ethics? No, exercise pieces. You have a book with a lot of pieces and with a metronome, and you have to do it in that tempo and go on. You know what you have to do for 2 years then.
Yeah.
And I was a very nice girl and wanted to be a nice girl, so I did all what was said. And I started to, after 2 years, maybe something else should happen. And then an elder girlfriend that was not in the academy, she was going to India, and she asked me, do you want to go with me? I said, no, I have to study and have no money. And then I asked, I thought, okay, I can ask for money from the academy and, some other institutions. I didn't think I would get it, India, why to go to India? And then I got a very high score in some kind of examination. And then I got a lot of money. I didn't think about that. I got so much money. And then my girlfriend, she got pregnant, and she was not going to India. And then I had to go to India, you understand? I didn't really want it.
Wow.
And then I went to India. I had to with all this money. And then I went to my teacher after a long, exciting journey. And the Indian teacher, she told me, Mangala Tiwari in Varanasi, she just told me in the morning time, she told me, you go home and sing one note.
Wow.
And I had my soprano saxophone. I say, please, hear how fast I can play, no interest. She had no interest in that.
So this one note then, so you call yourself a sound scanner, which is,
Yes.
I've heard of sound healers before, but I've never heard of sound scanners.
No, it's because, what I came to do was a kind of sound healing. But now I just have to follow up on this, because what's happened, I went home from my Indian singer, a teacher, and I thought, okay, I better do what she's saying, because she sounds much better than I do. My voice was not that fine. And then I sat down very early in the morning that nobody should hear me, and quietly sat singing. And then all of a sudden, I'm not alone. There are few voices coming out. And I went to the window to see the kids that might stand copying me in the street. And well, nobody. And a few times I went like that, very fast to hit them, to see them. And then I found out it was my own voice.
Wow.
And that's what, it just changed all my life. It changed my life, because it was so, I went into a state of mind by singing that one note. I was sitting 15 minutes boring in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it happened. And and then I could just not stop singing that one note again.
Can I ask you, because on the Zone Show we like doing different things, so and as this is an audio show,
Yes.
could I get you to share a note with us?
I didn't sing it yet this morning. I'll try. The thing is, I can continue, so you should never have asked me.
Exactly. Well, we've only got half an hour, but that's a great idea. That gives us enough time to get the feel of it. Now, I saw a fascinating video of you on the, was it Lake Galilee, when you were making this noise into your son's belly, into his stomach, and then you were hitting this resonant point, and it really came over very well on the video. I'll put a link underneath the podcast so people can find it.
So that's what it developed to, because I started up 28 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I started up in India just singing that one note. It destroyed my whole career because I didn't feel like playing saxophone after. I came home and I just continued doing this, and I started teaching people this just to find this voice, because when you find the inner voice of yourself, you get in contact with some deep, is it called the core? You come to the bottom of yourself somehow. Mm-hmm. And after years, I worked on myself with that note, because it's kind of purifying you. Then it started to happen that some of my pupils were ill one day. I had pupils, ordinary singing pupils, but I did this kind of other thing with them too, because you come to sing well a bit also. Then they asked me, please, we have a cold. Couldn't you heal us with your voice? I said, heal you with my voice. Yes, I said, I'm not allowed to do that. Yeah, but please just sing on us. So I tried it, because they were very alternative like. And then I found out when I sing like, ooh, I glide with my voice. Mm-hmm. Different thing. It started again, this with the note from heaven. In certain places it would open with a few voices like overtones. And other places it would be more dead. So I went for the places with the overtones where it's like shining of light, kind of the voice. And they say, oh, it's very nicely here. Exactly the places I found. So in that way, I call it scanning. I'm simply gliding and finding where will it open? Where will the note from heaven comes? I call it the note from heaven because it's coming down.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
It started to work. I mean, people got healed by it.
And do you find that, is there any correlation between the position on the body and the pitch of the note? Does it go higher up the body or lower?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, generally, you can say that the lower, the deeper. The deeper the voice is, the lower you call it, I think. Then you're down on the feet, for example. It's undertones. And then the higher you come, the higher up. In the high notes will be in the what you call it, hovedresonance, the head, the resonance of the head. Uh-huh. There are certain resonating. When you glide up, you will find you getting up in the head. And these notes are, of course, fit for the head.
Anybody could do this just as a little exercise in the morning, just to clear themselves out, I guess.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, I tell you, this is working really strong. And I was a little bit scared about it in the beginning. So I actually called a professor in Norway, Audun Myskja, who is a doctor in physician, chief physician, and also has written books about musical medicine. So I had to call him because, it really happened that a deaf person got his hearing back, and I didn't know, wow, if it can work like this, it can maybe also do harm. So I had to know from him and a doctor. I needed somebody to advise me. It was really strong things happening. He told me to try to, go for tinnitus, for example, because nobody can heal that. And I tried. But the thing is, then I got an audiometer. I just tell you this, I'll come to the point. And I started, measuring people before and after. And then it was like the results were smaller. Some results were there, But when I started measuring and, getting in the mood of being kind of a doctor, like when you measure and people say, oh, heal me. And then it was like the magic disappeared. So the thing is that I believe, and it's my own, I'm nothing. I just have to be a pipe. It's like a flute that have to sing. And what the note from heaven does is to purify that, take away as much noise as you can. And the more you can open yourself, the more you can put yourself on that internet of light, or what you will call it. You will put your line inside, and you get energy, you get light, you will get electricity that you can transfer to other people.
I got you. So perhaps then, if you're measuring, then what happens is an element of doubt creeps in you and the person that's being healed, and that interferes perhaps with that purity of note.
Very, very precise, Tom. Very nice way of saying it. Yeah. The thing is, doubt. The doubt is we keep ourselves on the ground, and it's like on the ground level, black and white, healed or not healed. But if there's not this element of belief, you have to be very what you call it, it's kind of, I know it's not me that's doing it, frankly said, and if there must be some kind of gratitude in this, not to me but to a higher power, because that will move people spiritually. Yeah. And this move when you move in that way, you also move physically.
And do you teach this now to other people, how to do this?
Yes. And especially after, because when my results, if they're coming in the medias, then I have tried that, and it was a few years ago, and I was, my voice closed immediately. Hundreds of people phoning me, and they want to get healed, and they want me, because the Danes, they're not very spiritual thinking. They just want me to heal them. And I lost my voice. Okay. And that's what's happening, because I can't cope with that. So because of what happened, then I started an education. Not that I know exactly what I'm doing. I just know I'm scanning, and of course I know what I'm doing. I have my experience, but in a deeper level, the music, the sound is a big mystery. Who knows what it is? But I can tell what I know, and that's what I'm doing it. I'm doing it in my education. And I have about 8 people now finished. Some of them are finishing this coming Christmas. And they have results too. And that helps now. So I dare to get out, because we're more people that can.
And I guess it goes back to the ancient times, in the Egyptian and Babylonian times. This is how things were done, and we've just forgotten about this. We have some great science now, and if we have a broken leg, I want to go to a hospital and get it fixed, because they're really good at fixing broken legs and that sort of stuff, and some amazing other allopathic techniques. But to me, what I'd love to see is that the best of Western medicine picks up some of the ancient secrets and combines together. Wouldn't that be wonderful if that happens in this century?
And it would be wonderful if we can work together with the doctors, because then, we have both the physical part and the spiritual part, because the sound, they already work with the sound. We have the ultrasound, and people find that totally normal. But when I stand singing on somebody, they are falling from laughter. It's really.
Well, it does sound bizarre, doesn't it? It does sound bizarre. And also then, if you're not a healer, then when you start healing people, you think, well, maybe I'm just deluding myself.
Yeah. That's how I felt the first time. I felt really, I was like, oh no, what are you doing? It's a border, to cross. But then when it works and you get a really physical experience, and that's both with the healing and sound healing, and especially sound healing, because the sound healing is more rough than healing just with the hands. You can really feel it in the body. I would say 80% can feel it strongly. About 20% more hard. Not everybody is so good in contact with the body. But usually, and that's what I like about this sound scanning, is that when I scan, they will say, yeah, that's it. They just know it. You don't need to be anything special, spiritual, or having taken education to feel that. Miss Smith, she can feel it, and that's what really made me grateful to work with this, because ordinary people are mostly the ones that are the most, they resonate because they get so surprised about it.
So apart from tinnitus, then, which you've been working with, what other conditions work well and respond well to the sound scanning technique?
Yeah, anything, you know. I wrote 3 books about this because also in order to get it on the paper, and they're selling quite well in Denmark, and they are translated, so they might come out in England, so you can read about it there. But I mean, everything is made out of frequency, and that is what it's amazing about this work, because it's a bridge between the physics, call it the quantum physics, and the mathematics and spirituality, because we are sound. Yeah? It's all the religions say that, or we are the word. And if you take the golden ratio, you know this, yeah? And it's also, if you made it mathematically, it will be kind of a snake or a spiral thing, a picture of a spiral. And all this is, if you take the mathematics and the overtones, then it will be the same picture. And we are made out of that. So that's why it's so fantastic when these overtones just come, they just appear. Then healings are happening. I mean, there must be resonance, and that means we're true about it. There must be a kind of opening. The cells must be open for this, because if they're closed, like with all kind of other medicines, they can't receive it. So this kind of openness must be there.
So it must work well then with things like irritable bowel syndrome and maybe a blockage in the heart, when you've got circulatory problems. I can imagine that would work quite well.
Yeah. And ADHD, you call it that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I just wanted to check it, so I did it for free for 2 months with 2 girls. One had been knocking down the teacher. Very beautiful princess girl. She's been violent, like she couldn't be in any schools. And I just listened to her, and I let her voice come. She was singing, and I healed her also with a voice. Sound scanned her. Oh, sorry. And she was, after 2 months, she had a normal sleep. She started to function.
Wow.
But society, they didn't want to go into, payment or anything. Even we had very nice results. She's been, cutting herself and all these terrible things that young people can do to each other.
And is it very much a one-to-one session, or could you record a set of tones that would help generally, like a set of tonics, we could call them? We have a tonic, don't we? A liquid tonic. We could have a tonic, which is like the sound tonic.
Yeah, I made a few CDs, quite many CDs. Some of them was that you can sing with it yourself, because we've also been talking, I know, if I could treat you far distance with the sound. The thing is, when you tape something or if you send it, a big part of the overtones will get lost. But maybe we can send it anyway, I don't know. But that's also what's happening when you're making a CD. But that's why I like that people sing with it, because then they will, make it alive.
Yeah, because if you're in front of somebody, you're actually vibrating the airwaves in front of them. Whereas if someone listens to it on headphones, then all you're doing is making the sound inside the head.
Yes.
So they got to then bring that out and then make the same resonance themselves to make it work.
But actually, it's what I found out, or what my pupils also found out. Sometimes it's like if you go to a lake that there's ice on it, and you then have to find one hole. You find that hole in the body. Let's say that there's one opening.
Yep.
And if you find that opening, the vibration will spread itself out and find the place where it's supposed to be. It's not, I can stand on the toe and sing, and maybe you'll feel it in the head. Quite obvious, because now I started also to go into the reflexology a little bit. Not that I know a lot about, but just look at the pictures of it and the maps of it. And for example, that the big toe is the head. So if you sing on the head and the big toe, it might go to the head.
Oh, they say, don't we, that we're a hologram, so you can map every point of our ear to another point on our body.
Yeah, and that's also a point where I believe
Yeah.
that like the ear has all the entire body mapped in the outer ear,
Yeah.
then I believe that all the sounds that we can express ourselves is a map of our body. It's all the sounds that our body needs, and that's why the voice is the first instrument that you have to use for sound scanning. All this with the bowls, putting them on. I know many people, it's much easier and it's not so funny, you know, people find it's more normal. You put a big bowl on top of your bang, cling, and then it will work. But this is, then you just, you know, then you tell the body, here is a sound, take it, you know. But when I listen, like, ooh, and I find the resonant point, then it's something else. I'm listening to your body, and that's my only job, only listening. And that's the art, to forget about everything else and just listen to you and be in the moment with you, your body.
Now, talking about listening, you also make fairly conventional music with your wonderful husband, don't you?
Yes, yes.
And so you do, you know, apart from the sound scanning, so you're still, the musical you is still very much in action.
Yeah, actually, that's what is fun. I mean, I also find this fun, but it's more kind of, how do you say it? I do this because I know this is my job, you know. I have to develop these things because it can help a lot of people. I can't stop that. I have to do it. But the fun is to make music. It's really, I like that still, you know. So that's the funny part of my life. We are writing songs and yeah. Now we're making our second album now.
Wonderful. So could we have a listen to one of your songs then?
This is was it Angel?
Angels. That's the one you share with me. I'd love to share that with the listeners.
It's from our first album. It's called "To Heal the Space Between Us." So
thank you. And how appropriate is that for this topic?
Yes, yeah, but that's both Lars and me. We are so good fitting together because we are working together. We are a couple together, and somehow we just support each other very well because I'm like the practical one. You can feel the notes, and Lars, he can sing too and also do that, but he has a lot of theory reading nonstop. You know, he's so wise.
Yeah, I'm reading his book at the moment, The Law of Light, and I'm just taking it very slowly, so I'll make sure it just seeps in. There's a lot of wisdom in there. So
yes.
Anyway, let's listen to Angel and Healing the Space Between Us.
Thank you.
Angel, come see me. Show me the way. Hold me and lead me. To be true to you, to be true to you. Angel, I follow you. I give up, surrender, let my fear go. Loneliness can never heal when I'm close to you. When I'm close to you. Angel, come sing me, sing me, sing give to
So Gita, thanks for sharing that. It's a really, really wonderful, wonderful gift. So it's always a real pleasure to speak to people on the Zone Show who aren't monolithic. You know, they don't just do one thing. There's many aspects to their life. And I think that's wonderful when we start to shine in all the other areas of our life. So apart from the sound scanning and the music, what else is your passion? What else gets you up in the morning?
Oh, my kids.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I mean, what's most important for me is love. You know, love, and that's also what I can thank the note from heaven for. This is, I feel like, I mean, I am coming from an atheistic family, but I always somehow believed in God because I did it secretly in my own way, and when I met Lars, he started to show. I mean, I saw these pictures of Sacré-Cœur, you know, with this is from France, that you see Jesus and Mary Magdalene with a heart. Jesus has one with the thorns, and she has with the flowers. And actually, it resonates with me, and that's what is one of the most important parts for me, is to be grateful and to get this feeling in the heart that it's opening. You know that feeling? And you see, it can be seeing something very beautiful, like in nature, and you go, you know, it's like a curtain is put apart, and then you say, wow, it's like you're overwhelmed, and from this work, I've been more and more overwhelmed every day, and it's this is, you know, you can be grateful to be able to feel your heart, and that's actually. I'm there for my kids. It's important for me to be a good mother. And that's also why I didn't go out abroad yet with this, because I had to be ready to have somebody to help me with this. Because if you're not a good mother, I mean, how could you help others with their problems, you know, and then make your kids' problems? So.
Wonderful. Well, listen, it's been really wonderful for you to share your heart with us today. That's been a real pleasure. So how can people find out about you? Where can they get your music? Where can they book you for sound scanning? What's the best place?
Oh my, they can't book me. Yeah, they can actually, if anybody listening are interested in me making an education, for example, in England, that's what I'm pointing at, because I can tell you, I've just taken 2 tinnitus in 2 different shows, and you know, somebody having it, suffering it for 20 years, and it disappeared, and then another one, and it wasn't me wishing that, it just happened, and now I'm over, you know, too many people calling,
okay.
and so now I'm trying to organize my pupils and finding out who can take a tinnitus and that they can take care of it. So that's the same thing I would like to do in England when my books are coming out, and maybe people will start to feel what this can do. And I want to be prepared and have people educated in it.
So rather than individuals with a condition, you're looking for people that are already therapists or healers who want to take this on board.
Yeah. Or musicians, or that they just have this call in their heart. You know, some people that cannot even, they don't think they can sing. They can't hit the note. We call them tone deaf. Yeah. And I've seen that some of these people even have beautiful voices. They're just very autonomous.
I think you're talking about me here. So I think I might be your first student over in England.
When they open up their voice, they have the most beautiful notes, because they're unspoiled, because they kept it in there for such a long time.
Oh, you are so talking about me.
Yes, so you could be great, because I can see you have an open heart too. so that's you know, if you have an open heart and this people can usually feel when they have to do this thing. It can also work. It's also good to be able to hear and to be a musician, but there we can fight. I had some kind of opera singer from Star from Germany that she came, and I thought, oh my God, what shall I do with her? It was actually problematic because it's not working.
You don't want vibrato. You need a pure note.
You need to have natural voice. You need to have this that you don't want to show off nothing. You have just to be nothing, and that's difficult if you've learned to be a lot.
Well, listen, that sounds fascinating. Do let me know when you're over in the UK. It'd be fantastic. I'd love to get to know more about this technique, and we'll share this far and wide. What's the best website for people to find you on?
It's notefromheaven.com, without just in one line.
Wonderful. What a great URL. That's a fantastic website address. So listen, I'm wishing you every success, and I know you're going to heal lots of people and help other people heal people, and it's great to hear this note from heaven coming down, and thanks for sharing it today on The Zone Show. So thanks for listening to The Zone Show. If you pop over to my website, www.tomevans.co, you'll find loads of books and resources that will help you get in and stay in the zone.